Have you ever stood in your kitchen, holding an egg in your hand, and wondered, is this healthy or dangerous? For decades, eggs have been one of the most confusing foods in the world. One year, doctors warn us that eggs raise cholesterol and damage the heart. The next year, scientists say eggs are one of the healthiest foods you can eat. So what is the truth? As a physician who has spent many years studying nutrition and heart health, I can tell you something that surprises many of my patients. Eggs are not the enemy most people think they are. In fact, for many people, eggs can be one of the most powerful foods for energy, brain health, muscle strength, and even weight control. But here is the important part. The real question is not whether eggs are healthy. The real question is, how many eggs can your body safely handle every day? Because the answer is not the same for everyone, and eating too many or preparing them the wrong way can quietly create problems you may not notice until years later. Today, I want to explain this topic the way I explain it to my patients in the clinic. No confusing medical language, just the honest truth about eggs, cholesterol, and how to eat them in a way that protects your health. Let's start with something most people misunderstand. For many years, eggs were blamed for heart disease because they contain cholesterol. A single egg contains about 180 to 200 milligrams of cholesterol, most of it inside the yolk. Doctors once believed that eating cholesterol directly raised cholesterol in the blood, which could then clog arteries and lead to heart attacks. Because of this belief, people were told to limit eggs strictly. Some doctors even recommended eating no more than 2 or 3 eggs per week. But over the last 2 decades, medical research has revealed something very important. The cholesterol you eat does not affect your blood cholesterol as much as we once believed. In most healthy people, the liver actually adjusts how much cholesterol it produces. When you eat more cholesterol from food, your body often produces less internally. It's a balancing system that many people don't realize exists. This is why modern research has shown that for many healthy adults, eating eggs in moderation does not significantly increase the risk of heart disease. But this does not mean unlimited eggs are safe for everyone. In my clinic, I often meet patients who believe eggs are a perfect food, so they start eating 4, 5, sometimes even 6 eggs every day. They think more protein automatically means better health. But nutrition is rarely that simple. Eggs are rich in protein, vitamins, and healthy fats. They contain vitamin B12, vitamin D, selenium, and a nutrient called choline, which is extremely important for brain health and memory. In fact, eggs are one of the best natural sources of choline in the human diet. However, eggs are also calorie-dense and contain saturated fats, particularly when combined with oils, butter, or processed meats like bacon and sausage. And this is where problems often begin. One of the biggest mistakes people make is not the eggs themselves, but how they eat them. For example, imagine a typical breakfast many people eat. Fried eggs cooked in butter, served with white bread, processed sausage, and sugary tea. In this situation, eggs become part of a meal that is high in saturated fats, refined carbohydrates, and salt. Over time, that kind of diet can increase weight gain, blood pressure, and metabolic problems. So the issue is not always the egg. The issue is the overall lifestyle around it. Another factor that many people overlook is individual health conditions. If someone has type 2 diabetes, severe high cholesterol, or a strong family history of heart disease, the body may respond differently to frequent egg consumption. Some studies suggest that in people with diabetes, very high egg intake could potentially increase cardiovascular risk. This does not mean diabetics must completely avoid eggs, but it does mean the quantity and frequency should be more carefully controlled. There is also something else I often see in patients: the belief that egg whites are healthy, but egg yolks are dangerous. This is another misunderstanding. Yes, the yolk contains cholesterol, but it also contains most of the nutrients: vitamin A, vitamin D, omega-3 fats, antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin that protect the eyes from aging and vision problems. If you throw away the yolk, you are discarding the most nutritious part of the egg. So the goal is not to fear eggs, and it is not to eat them endlessly either. The goal is balance. And that brings us to the most important question everyone asks me. How many eggs per day is actually safe? Before I answer that clearly, there are a few more things you must understand about how eggs interact with metabolism, weight control, and long-term heart health. because some people benefit enormously from eggs, while others should be much more cautious. And in the next part, I will explain the exact number of eggs most healthy adults can safely eat each day, the surprising benefits eggs can have for weight loss and brain health, and the simple doctor-recommended rules that make eggs one of the healthiest foods you can add to your diet. Now let's continue from where we left off. The question everyone wants answered is simple. How many eggs can you safely eat in a day? For most healthy adults, modern nutritional science suggests that 1 to 2 whole eggs per day is generally safe and even beneficial. In fact, many studies have shown that people who regularly eat eggs often have better intake of essential nutrients like protein, vitamin B12, and choline compared to those who avoid them. But the real story goes deeper than just counting eggs. Eggs are one of nature's most complete foods. Inside that small shell is a nearly perfect balance of amino acids, the building blocks your body needs to repair muscles, maintain hormones, and support the immune system. This is why athletes, older adults, and people recovering from illness often benefit from including eggs in their diet. For example, as people age, muscle loss becomes a serious health concern. After the age of 40, many adults begin losing muscle mass gradually each year. This process can lead to weakness, fatigue, and increased risk of falls later in life. High-quality protein foods like eggs help slow this process because the body can easily absorb and use their amino acids. Eggs also play a powerful role in satiety, which means the feeling of fullness after eating. When you start your morning with a protein-rich meal like eggs, your blood sugar rises more slowly compared to eating sugary cereals or refined breads. This stable blood sugar helps reduce cravings later in the day. Many patients who replace a carbohydrate-heavy breakfast with eggs find they naturally eat fewer calories throughout the day, which supports healthy weight control. But there is still an important balance to respect. Even though eggs are nutritious, eating very large amounts, 3, 4, or 5 every single day, may not be ideal for everyone, especially if the rest of the diet contains high amounts of saturated fat, processed foods, or excessive calories. Remember, nutrition works like an orchestra. Health comes from the harmony of many foods working together, not from one food dominating the entire diet. Another factor that matters greatly is how eggs are cooked. When eggs are deep-fried in large amounts of oil or butter, the calorie content can double or even triple. Over time, this can contribute to weight gain and higher cholesterol levels. But when eggs are boiled, poached, or lightly scrambled with minimal oil, they remain a very healthy choice. In fact, boiled eggs are one of the most convenient and nutritious snacks available. They provide protein, healthy fats, and essential nutrients while keeping you full for hours. Let me also address a concern that many patients ask about: cholesterol levels. For most people, eating 1 or 2 eggs daily does not significantly raise harmful LDL cholesterol. In some individuals, eggs may even raise HDL cholesterol, which is often called the good cholesterol because it helps remove excess cholesterol from the bloodstream. However, if someone already has very high cholesterol or a strong history of heart disease, moderation becomes especially important. In those cases, doctors may recommend limiting whole eggs to a few per week while still allowing egg whites as a protein source. The key message here is personalization. Your overall health, your physical activity level, your genetics, and your diet all influence how your body responds to eggs. That is why there is no single universal number that fits every person on Earth. But for the majority of healthy adults living normal lifestyles, 1 to 2 eggs per day fits comfortably within a balanced, heart-healthy diet. And when eggs are combined with healthy foods, vegetables, whole grains, fruits, nuts, and healthy fats like olive oil, they become part of a powerful nutritional pattern that supports long-term wellness. I often tell my patients something simple: food should nourish your body, not frighten you. For too many years, eggs were unfairly blamed for health problems that were actually caused by poor diets, processed foods, excess sugar, and sedentary lifestyles. When eaten wisely, eggs can support energy, brain function, muscle strength, and overall health. So the next time you crack an egg into a pan or peel a boiled egg for breakfast, remember this: that small food contains decades of misunderstood science, and when eaten in moderation, it can be a valuable ally in maintaining a strong, healthy body. Take care of your body with balance, with knowledge, and with respect for the remarkable way nutrition works. Because good health is not built by avoiding every food, it is built by making smarter choices every day.